The second batch looked better than anything they had ever packed before. Cleaner boxes, better fruit, softer paper wrapping. Even the farm story inside each box felt more honest this time. But when Adam finally opened the shipment, he didn't talk about the Pomelos first. He talked about the labels. And in one quiet phone call, Tu Na realized a tiny mistake could make a careful family look careless in front of the very buyer they had worked so hard to earn. That was the day Alex understood something important. Good packaging is not decoration. It is proof that people can trust you when nobody is standing there to explain. Hello everyone, we hope you're having a peaceful and beautiful day. Thank you for spending time with our story today, and we truly hope your family stays safe, warm, and close together. If the fruit says careful, but the label says confused, trust becomes unstable. That night, Tu Na sat quietly beside the kitchen doorway while Alex rewrote the checking sheet. The porch light cast long shadows across the wooden floor. "You should be angry," she said finally. Alex kept writing for another few seconds, then stopped. "No," he answered. "We just found the next weak point before it became bigger." That sentence changed something inside her, because good partnerships inside a family are not built by avoiding mistakes. They are built by surviving them correctly. A lot of people watching this may understand that feeling. The fear that one small error erases months of effort. The shame of thinking you disappointed people who trusted you. But systems matter because humans get tired. Humans recover slowly. Humans become distracted. Humans carry stress quietly. Good systems protect tired people from permanent consequences. The next morning, the porch felt lighter again. Not perfect, but steadier. Henry sat beside a stack of flattened cardboard drawing circles with a blue pencil while Tu Na prepared the revised inserts. This time, the farm story sounded simpler, warmer, more like them, less like marketing. It talked about careful harvest mornings, family handling, season rhythm, and why they started tracking every batch by hand, not to sound impressive, to become dependable. Then Adam called again. This time the conversation lasted longer. Alex listened carefully, occasionally nodded, then looked toward Tu Na. After the call ended, she searched his face immediately. "Well?" Alex leaned against the porch railing. "He's not canceling!" Tu Na exhaled so deeply it almost sounded painful. But Alex wasn't finished. He asked one question. "What question?" Alex looked toward the stacked boxes near the wall, then repeated Adam's words slowly. "Who else can touch your finished boxes?" And suddenly, the real lesson became clear. Adam was not only buying Pomelos, he was measuring control. Because premium buyers do not just look for good products. They look for reliable processes. That realization changed how Alex and Tu Na saw packaging forever. Not as decoration, not as something added at the end, but as proof. Proof that care stayed consistent all the way to the buyer's hands. And strangely enough, after that difficult phone call, their small wooden porch finally began to feel like the beginning of a real business. Not because everything went perfectly, because they learned how to protect trust before it broke completely. No stacks leaning dangerously near the gate. Even Henry sensed the difference. He wandered between the boxes holding a marker cap in his hand while Tu Na smiled for the first time that morning. "Don't let him become quality control," she said softly. Alex almost laughed. Almost. But underneath the calmer rhythm, Tu Na still carried fear. Not loud fear. The quiet kind. The kind that appears after people make one painful mistake and become afraid of becoming the person who ruins things. That fear changes how people move, how they speak, how they check papers twice before touching them. And Alex could see it. That was why he never rushed her answers. And careful silence is sometimes harder to hear than shouting. "What happened?" Tuna asked. Alex placed the phone down on the table. "The Pomelos are good," he said, "but the label origin and the farm story insert don't match." For a second, the entire porch became still. Even the kettle seemed too loud. Tuna stared at the paperwork, then at the boxes still stacked near the wall, then back at Alex. Her face changed immediately. Not defensive, worse, ashamed, because this was not rotten fruit, not transport damage, not weather. This was a trust signal, a detail problem, and detail problems make people look careless, especially when they are trying to look dependable. Because when people recover from exhaustion, sometimes the hardest thing is not physical work, it is trusting yourself again. Alex noticed how she double-checked every line before writing anything down. Batch number, harvest date, sorting count, box count, insert count. He didn't interrupt her. He only placed a warm cup of tea near her elbow before returning to the packing area. That second premium batch meant more than the first one ever did. The first batch proved their Pomelos were good. This batch would prove they were reliable. And those are not the same thing. The fruit itself looked beautiful that morning. The skin was cleaner. The sizing was more consistent. The heavier Pomelos were separated earlier to avoid pressure damage. Alex had even changed the table layout, so packed fruit no longer crossed paths with incoming harvest baskets. A small change, but small handling changes protect reputation later. That is something many small farms learn too late. Sometimes people think premium selling starts with expensive branding, but most trust problems begin long before design. They begin inside the flow. Who touched the fruit? Who checked the box? Who sealed it? Who confirmed the label? Who verified the insert? One missed step can quietly undo 10 careful ones. By noon, the porch looked calmer than the previous shipment days. No shouting, no rushing. When she asked, "Can you check this batch code again?" He checked it again. Not because he doubted her, because rebuilding confidence is also part of protecting a family. By late afternoon, the shipment left the gate. The dust from the small truck lingered on the road long after the sound disappeared. Then came the waiting. And waiting is dangerous for tired minds, because silence allows fear to grow stories. That evening, Tuna re-wiped the porch table 3 times for no reason. She reorganized already organized papers. She asked Alex if the inserts felt too simple, then whether they felt too emotional, then whether buyers even read them at all. "I checked them," she whispered. Alex didn't answer immediately. That silence hurt her more. "I checked them twice." Henry woke from the mat near the doorway and rubbed his eyes while the adults stood there quietly under the porch light. That moment mattered more than the mistake itself. Because families often decide their future during moments like this. One direction creates blame, the other creates systems. Alex chose systems. He pulled the remaining sample boxes back onto the porch table. Then he started retracing every step, not emotionally, practically. Where were labels stored? Who stacked finished boxes? When were inserts added? Who sealed final cartons? Which step had no final verification? And slowly, the real problem appeared. The weak point was not the printing, not the harvest records, not the fruit. It was the final handling stage after sealing. One stack of finished labels had been placed beside older unused inserts during the last rush before loading. The mismatch happened there. A tiny moment, maybe less than 2 minutes, but reputation problems are often born inside small, unprotected moments. That afternoon, Alex changed the entire exit flow. And honestly, this may help many small producers watching too. Because packaging consistency is not about perfectionism, it is about trust, clarity. Here's what Alex changed immediately. First, every finished batch stayed physically separated. No overlapping stacks, no mixed paperwork zones. Second, labels, inserts, and shipment records moved together in one tray from start to finish. Not separately, never separately. Third, no sealed box left the porch without one final match check. Label, origin, insert, batch code, all together. One pause before loading saves enormous damage later. And this part is important. When families grow from small selling into premium selling, they often improve the product first, but forget the communication around the product. Buyers cannot see intentions. They only see signals. The morning started quietly. A thin layer of fog still sat over the garden fence, while Alex carried the first basket of pomelos toward the porch. The wood under his sandals creaked softly. Inside the kitchen, water boiled in the kettle, and Henry sat on the floor, pushing a spoon across the tiles, like a toy truck. Tuna watched from the porch table with a notebook beside her. She still moved slower than before. Not weak, just careful. The last few weeks had taken a lot out of her, but this morning, she insisted on helping with the records again. Not lifting, not packing, just checking. And somehow that mattered to her more than she admitted. Alex sat on the porch steps, cleaning mud from his boots, while Henry slept against his shoulder. "The fruit is honest," he said quietly. "That part matters." But deep down, he also knew something else. Good products open doors. Consistency keeps them open. The next morning, Adam called. Alex answered while standing near the side garden hose. At first, the conversation sounded normal, short, professional. Then Alex stopped spraying water. His expression changed only slightly. But slightly was enough. From the porch, Tuna already knew something was wrong. When the call ended, Alex walked back slowly, not angry, not panicked, careful. That shipment did not become memorable because the pomelos were beautiful. It became memorable because one small mismatch revealed a hidden weakness before the family grew bigger. After that week, the boxes became cleaner, the records became simpler, the handling became calmer, and Tuna stopped seeing careful systems as pressure. She started seeing them as protection, because in the end, trust is not built by one perfect product. It is built when people know your care remains consistent even when nobody is watching. And on quiet evenings after the work was done, the porch no longer felt like a place where mistakes waited to happen. It finally felt like a place where the family was learning how to grow safely together. RD.